Good morning. I'm going to keep reading from The Man Who Went to the Far Side of the Moon. I'm going to start with this chart here and just kind of explain to you what it is. It's titled Michael Collins' Food Pack on the Fourth Day of the Trip. For breakfast, he had frosted flakes. They were freeze-dried. 4 peanut cubes, bite-sized. Cocoa, powder. Orange and grapefruit drink, which was powdered. Canadian bacon and applesauce, which was freeze-dried. For lunch, he had shrimp cocktail, which was freeze-dried, ham and potatoes, a wet pack, fruit cocktail, freeze-dried, 4 date fruit cake cubes, bite-sized, and a grapefruit drink, which was powdered. For dinner, he had beef stew, a spoon bowl, 4 coconut cubes, bite-sized, banana pudding, which was powdered, and grape punch, which was powdered. All the food is vacuum packed and marked with a label since it's difficult to tell what each item is supposed to be. The tricky thing about eating in weightlessness is moving the food from the package to the mouth without letting it float away. The astronauts eat freeze-dried and powdered food. They inject cold or hot water into the packet with a special water gun. Squeeze the packet for about 3 minutes, then cut off a corner and squeeze the paste into their mouths. They have wet-packed food. They suck the ready mixed wet-packed food cold straight out of the package. And then they have spoon bowl food. They inject cold or hot water with the water gun and squeeze the package a little before they open the top. Spoon bowl food is eaten with a spoon. It is so sticky that it either stays in the package or clings to the spoon. It's July 24th, 1969, a Thursday. Ever since they left the moon, the astronauts have been eager to get back home. After 8 days, 3 hours, and 18 minutes in Columbia without washing, the entire body itches. It's hard to breathe in the spacecraft now. It smells like wet dogs and rotten swamp. Michael Collins has flown Columbia during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere for 14 minutes. The astronauts have been pushed down into their seats. They have weighed 7 times their weight on Earth. Now the capsule has splashed down into the ocean near Hawaii. No one knows if the astronauts have been exposed to dangerous lunar germs that could potentially wipe out the human race. Because of this, they are sent straight to quarantine facility, a silver-colored mobile home. Inside, the astronauts write reports about their trip. Michael beats Neil in cards, and as they sit there, bored as can be, they begin to understand just what they have experienced. During the trip itself, they were so focused on their job that they didn't have time to think about what they have actually done. Everyone on Earth gathered together because of the moon landing, but the astronauts themselves have been far, far away. Apollo 11, this is Houston, do you copy? As they watch a tape recording of the moon landing, Buzz suddenly turns to Neil and says, "Neil, we missed the whole thing." In the past, Michael Collins never really cared about the machines that he has flown, but this time it's different. On the second night of quarantine, he climbs back into the Columbia and takes a seat. Then he leans over and scribbles a message in ballpoint pen on the capsule wall in the tiniest handwriting imaginable. Spacecraft 107, alias Apollo 11, alias Columbia, the best ship to come down the line. God bless her. Michael Collins, CMP. To find out if the astronauts are carrying deadly germs, mice are let into the quarantine trailer. The mice have grown up in a germ-free laboratory. After 17 days, the astronauts are let out. For the first time in a month, they breathe fresh air. If the mice had died, Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, and Neil Armstrong might still be quarantined. Here's another chart. And this one says, this picture of the Apollo 16 astronaut Charlie Duke and his family, Dottie, Charles Jr., and Thomas, has been lying in the exact same place on the moon since 1972. That's kind of cool. All right, left on the moon. Since Apollo 11, there has been 5 other lunar modules on the moon. The last one landed in 1972. Everything the astronauts left behind stays exactly like it was when it was first put there. There is no rust, there is no wear and tear, and the gray moon dust lie the traces of 6 Apollo missions. There are 2 golf balls hit by astronaut Alan Shepard on Apollo 14. To save on weight, the astronauts left everything they didn't need before taking off in the lunar module: scientific experiments, TV cameras and cables, Hasselblad cameras, and empty food packets. Parts of the spacesuit, backpack and boots, 6 lunar modules, 3 moon buggies from Apollo 15, 16, and 17, mementos and honorary objects such as plaques, medallions, astronaut badges, crucifixes, a gold olive branch, a computer disk the size of a silver dollar with peaceful greetings from presidents and prime ministers of 73 countries, a sculpture of a fallen astronaut in memory of all who have died in the efforts to reach the moon, 1 red Bible, 6 American flags, and unverified Las Brisas Hotel in Acapulco, Mexico, insists that the Apollo 11 astronauts place a pink flag from the hotel on the moon in gratitude for their complimentary stay. Over 460,000 people worked on the Apollo project. They got 12 astronauts to the moon. Altogether, the Apollo astronauts brought 840 pounds or 380 kilograms of moon material back to the Earth. On the moon, there are footprints from 12 people, traces that will never be swept away by any kind of wind. When Michael Collins returned from the moon, he made the decision to never travel again. He wanted to spend the rest of his life fishing, bringing up his children, taking care of his dogs, and sitting on the porch with his wife. Sometimes when he's talking to other people, this thought strikes him. I've been to places and done things that no one can ever imagine. I will never be able to explain what it was like. I carry it inside like a treasure. At night, Michael Collins tends to the roses in his garden at the back of his house. The soil smells good. The winds feel warm and humid against his face. He looks up at the yellow disk in the sky and thinks to himself, I've been there. It was beautiful. But compared to Earth, it was nothing. He never wants to go back to the moon. We're lucky to have this planet, I know.